Hi, folks. In this video review, I want to just talk about this particular player. First, let me give you a brief history about him. He's always been a really good golfer. In the past 12 to 16 months, he's really made himself into one of the elite golfers, one of those top just 2 or 3, 4 golfers in the state. And it's a very competitive state for amateur golf. And he's done that through the work that we've done by really controlling his club path, getting that under control, and really improving how he interacts with the ground. And when we first started working together, he had a double-digit inside-out path, and that was really limiting the shots that he could play and the shots that he felt like he needed to play to get to the level of golf that he's playing now. And he also had a center of pressure trace to match that movement. So he would get really heavy into this right leg and stay over there for quite a while. We're talking 90, 93% into that right leg in the backswing, stay over there, and then a really sharp movement back out towards the toes in the downswing, and then right before impact, really try to save it with kind of curling that center pressure ball back towards his heel. And a lot of the times he could time it right, and then there were certainly times where he couldn't. Anyways, it was a very limiting, pattern for him, and it wound up limiting his distance that he was able to apply to the shots as well. So one of the first things we worked on in getting his club path straightened out was improving how he moved with the ground and improving the timing of that. And one of the big areas that I'm a big fan of looking for as these players are on the Swing Catalyst is from this point in the backswing to basically that same point in the downswing. I like to see fairly similar numbers just flip-flop. So in this case, he basically mirror imaged himself. He's 60-40 here and going back, and then he flips that to 70-30 in the downswing. And this is the kind of early transition, early movement of that center pressure trace that I'm a really big fan of, mainly because it lets the player get there early enough to that left side and then stabilize as they're trying to ramp up club head speed and hit that center of the club face, that CG of the club face. There's not a lot of movement there going on. It really lets him lock in on that golf ball and give him such, a purer strike than a lot of players do. And I'm sure if you've used Swing Catalyst long enough, you've seen players at this point in the downswing maybe be 50-50, maybe slightly into the right leg still, or even slightly on the front. And then by the time they get to impact, they're 90, 95% or even more into that lead side. So they've moved a tremendous amount in a very little bit of time, very late in the downswing. And in my opinion, that's very difficult for so many players to do. You've got to have some pretty good athletic ability to pull that off. And a lot of the players who do that complain of, misses all across the face and all that. So I really like to see players stabilize themselves, get over there early, and then stabilize themselves right when they're delivering that club head. And we're doing a drill here in this swing. He's really trying to get into that left heel early. So his numbers actually fall off just a touch before he gets into impact. But he basically has very little to no lateral movement into that left side as he's striking the golf ball. And I am a big fan of that move. Typically, you're going to see 5 to 20% movement. I think that's fine. Once you get into those high 30s, 40s, even some players do 50% movement that late in the downswing, I believe you run into all kinds of difficulty. It's just a very difficult move to pull off. So from here to impact, I like to see a stable, quiet center pressure movement as they're striking the golf ball. And, this guy's a really good athlete, and it's not uncommon to see, especially 2, 3 sport athletes, basketball, baseball players who have a lot of lateral movement, really do that. And you got to kind of rein that in for him a little bit. And it's really paid dividends for this particular player. In the course of this entire session, you're looking at probably an hour-and-a-half session, he ranged his club path less than 1 degree. That's pretty impressive. He went from a 0.5 degree was his lowest to 1.5 degree out to the right. Actually, 1.3 degrees to the right was the most it varied. And that's pretty impressive as he's working on a swing. And I believe that's a big part of the work that we've done improving his center pressure trace. So thank you guys for watching. Take care. Thanks.